A walk through New York in the morning would seem like a picture-perfect thing for any of those generic people in generic commercials to do. Headphones in, probably wearing brand-name clothing, and giving waves to friendly people that dotted the streets while drinking something random, like a pumpkin spice latte or something. Shay, though, was not a generic person in a generic commercial. She walked the streets that seemed abandoned, and the few that did have people this early, freezing hour of the March morning was full of people that it was best to avoid both eye contact and accidental physical contact with, because either of the two would likely result in scowl and dirty looks. No, Shay walked with an oversized jacket on down streets with no one on them, let alone friendly people popping their heads out of store doors and windows to say hello. Nope. The friendly people who said hello to Shay instead poked their heads out of alleyways to greet her in the morning on her walk to school. Hey, Shay. Hey, Henry. Hey, how's it hanging, Shay? Pretty good, thanks, Lucky. Look, guys, it's Shay. Hey, Shay. Hi, Shay. Hello, Shay. Hey, everyone. Yo, Shay, what's up? Nothing much, Grant. What about you? Well, if it isn't little Miss Shay. Shay jumped a bit at the suddenness of the voice. She turned to the alleyway and felt a smile creep its way onto her lips. Hey, is that Zach? Nope. She narrowed her eyes a bit. Jack? Wrong again, Shay. The voice laughed before it put on a hurt tone. I'm hurt that you didn't think of me first. Oh, come on, Mac. You know I was just joking. She grinned, sitting on the top of an overturned garbage can. What's going on with you? Oh, nothing out of the usual. Jay and Z have begging duty right now, so I'm here doing the dirty work. The man gestures to the dumpsters in the alleyway, and then the bag to the side. Old pieces of broken things that could possibly be salvageable spilling out of it. A scowl appears on his face. Literally. Shay released a snort of amusement as she looked back up, a smile appearing back on his features. So where is everyone's favorite girl going off to right now, this early in the day? School, Shay replied, turning so he could better see the backpack that she wore. I always try to get there early because I've got to walk. Ah, yeah. Where do you go for that? Midtown, she shrugged. They have better opportunities for college. I'm there on scholarship, though, so I've got to make sure I get there on time. Stay in school, Shay. Mac shook his head as he spoke in a gravely voice. You're a good kid. We all know it. And you deserve better, you know? You're a good kid. And you're a smart one. You graduate from school with your brains, and all the big universities will be fighting over you. Got it? You're gonna do great things, Shay. Ask anyone around here, and they'll tell ya you're gonna be great. Thanks, Mac. Shay smiled, her cheeks heating despite the cold of the morning air. If I end up, up there with the big guys, I promise that I'll do everything I can to make things better. For everyone who isn't as fortunate, because you all deserve so much better. Oh, you're gonna make me cry. Well, this has been fun. The girl hopped off of her position on the garbage can, but I've got to get going. See you soon, Mac. See you around, Shay. The teenager moved out swiftly from the alley and continued down the sidewalk, humming as she went to a tune that was playing only in her head. She began to snap her fingers along to the beat, a Hamilton song, when suddenly the song she was thinking of blasted through the neighborhood. Shay let out a small cry and frantically snapped her fingers again, but the music didn't seem to want to cease. Biting her lip, Shay clapped her hands together desperately, but nothing happened. As people poked their heads out from apartment windows, dressed in pajamas and yelling complaints, she gave it one last shot and closed her eyes, thinking as hard as she could about making the music stop before she snapped her fingers one more time. The music stopped as quickly as it had come. When the last person had retreated back into their home, the street was still once more, and Shay let out a sigh of relief before she slapped her hand to her forehead. Stupid, 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 she muttered to herself. She looked down at her hands, observing them, turning them over. Other than the normal blemishes and a healing burn she had gotten the night before, they looked completely normal. It was funny to imagine actually being normal. She thought to herself sometimes that it would be nice if they were normal, instead of seeming to always be against her, always a danger, always ready to let her powers loose. Come on, Shay, you're better than this. You're smarter than this. And you should probably be getting to school now, Shay said under her breath as she finally noticed the abrupt increase in light levels around her in the last few minutes. She moved a bit quicker, at a speed that was more of a strange mix between walking fast and jogging. Finally, she turned the corner and saw her school. Her lips turned slightly upwards at the familiar building that she loved so much. It wasn't fun to be somewhere with so many people, so many opportunities for something to happen, for someone to get hurt, but at least there were other people there. That was more than her apartment could say. As she approached, she noticed how late she was in comparison to normal, as there was a large congregation of students talking outside with friends, a setting she usually tried avoiding by being early. There was a big risk of her powers going off with so many people. She got even more nervous, though, about possibly being late when the first bell rang. 5 minutes to get to her first class, which was on the top floor on the other side of the building. Shay pushed past students, weaving deftly through the crowd, and was almost to her class with just over a minute to spare when she slammed right into someone, knocking both of them to the ground. She clenched her fist tightly as a wave of shock washed over her. Her eyes glanced for just a moment at her hands, a small wisp of purple trying to creep out from between her fingers. Shay calmed her heart that was beating way too hard from the surprise of falling to the ground, and took a few deep breaths. Another glance at her hands showed that the magic that had been trying to flare out was gone. She was safe. Her gaze moved back to the kid that she had collided with, and was met with the image of a boy about her age. Shay studied the boy as she got to her feet, ignoring the slight ache in her side that remained from the fall. He was a kid who was in quite a few of her classes, including the one she was in such a rush to get to. Reaching her hand down, Shay helped the boy up, his neatly combed black hair flopping as she yanked him up, using a bit more strength than she meant to. He shook his hand to relieve a bit of the pain that was clearly left from her strong pull. "Sorry," she muttered before turning around again and continuing on her way to class. Behind her, she heard someone speak. "Ned, are you okay? That looked like a nasty fall." "Yeah, dude, I'm fine." "Who was the girl who bumped into you?" "No clue." Shay stopped focusing in on their conversation, causing their words to fall away into the endless chatter of the hallway. As she finally reached her class, she slid into her seat before reaching down into her backpack. Shay searched around until she found what she was looking for, a tiny old, tattered box that looked like it was supposed to hold earrings. Opening the box, the teenager carefully took out 2 tiny devices. She winced as the noise around her grew louder from the steady increase in students. Before she pulled back her hair and stuck one of the devices to her head, in the tiny area behind her earlobe, where nobody could see it. She did the same for the other device, though behind the other ear, before quickly pressing a small button on the inside of the box. The noise around her slowly grew quieter, and Shay finally relaxed. She still hadn't thanked David for the parts for these yet. Maybe she could do it on the way home, if she saw him. The last few students finally made it into the class, and the room settled down as the teacher began to speak. Shay made sure to turn down her device a tiny bit so she could hear what the topic for the day was. She might know everything she needed to know up through a lot of college, but maybe they'd be learning something new today. She was disappointed to find out that it was something she had mastered ages ago. Hello everyone! Thank you for watching my first ever fanfic video! I think it was pretty good, you know? The fanfic was really good. I'm just reading lines off a piece of paper, which is not very easy though. I messed up so many times, but it was so fun. But I will definitely keep doing this, and I'm so happy that you watched this. Thank you very much. And yeah, this was chapter 1. Get ready for chapter 2. It is coming. And yes, if you could tell, I was inspired by Little Space Freckles because she is amazing. And I couldn't find any Peter Parker fanfics, like Spider-Man fanfics, other than hers and some other people. And I'm like, there needs to be more. So then I was like, well, I can make one. I tried. It's kind of hard, but you know, we can do it together. We're a team. Let's do it. Do you have any words?
You did a wonderful job.
Thank you. You had to sit through the whole thing. I'm so sorry. But
I had to sit here very quiet, so.
Yeah, because my microphone picks up everything.
Even picks up noise out there.
Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you at the next video. Or I guess I wouldn't see you. Leave a comment so I know you're there.